Hello and welcome to the first Film Chat essay. On this episode we're going to be talking about the most famous film of all time, Howard the Duck! No, it's actually Star Wars. With the release of episode 7 just days away, excitement levels are reaching fever pitch. And despite the huge number of people involved both in front of and behind the camera, it feels as though the success of the film rests squarely on JJ Abrams' shoulders. He has the unenviable task of delivering a film that everyone has huge and possibly unrealistic expectations of. However, the general mood towards him seems quite positive, and with the exception of a few lens flare jokes, his appointment seemed like a smart move by the studio. For he is a filmmaker with blockbuster pedigree, but more importantly a well-documented love of the franchise. However, I for one am slightly less excited by the idea of a JJ Abrams Star Wars movie, and that's because I think he's already made one, and by made I mean remade. For as this video will argue an exhaustive, tedious and ultimately kind of pointless detail, JJ Abrams' Star Trek reboot is nothing more than a thinly veiled remake of A New Hope. Yes, even in the first few minutes, Star Trek is already aping the structure of A New Hope. The visual style is different, the editing is quicker, the lens flare is already off the charts, but essentially the scenes are the same. It's a big ship attacking a little ship, thus telling the audience that the bad guys are really powerful and the good guys have the odds stacked against them. This opening is also similar in that the chain of events that leads to the villain's ultimate demise is established. I'll let Simon Pegg explain.
If the gunner had shot the pod that C-3PO and R2 were in, they wouldn't have got to Tatooine, they wouldn't have met Luke, Luke wouldn't have met Ben, they wouldn't have met Han and Chewie, they wouldn't have rescued Princess Leia, none of it would have happened.
In a similar fashion, Mrs. Kirk escapes with baby Kirk, who becomes young blonde Tom Petty lookalike Kirk, who becomes handsome Kirk, who joins Starfleet, meets the gang, becomes the captain, and saves the bloody day. Moving on, we have this bar sequence, which is such a wholesale rip-off of the Mos Eisley Cantina sequence that I don't have to say anything. I mean, it speaks for itself.
You could handle it, that's an invitation.
I don't like you either. You just watch yourself.
Hey, you better mind your manners.
Relax, Cupcake, it was a joke.
Hey,
You'll be dead.
Star Trek contains not one, but two what I refer to as Obi-Wan style scenes. This is where our hero is in trouble, is saved by an old man, who knows about him and his dad.
Something I admired about your dad. He didn't believe in no-win scenarios.
He proudly lived to see you become captain of the Enterprise.
I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
And then sets him on his path.
Enlist in Starfleet.
You alone must take command of your ship.
You must learn the ways of the Force.
Here we have a scene where one good guy is trapped in some huge industrial machinery about to be killed, while another one desperately tries to manually override a computer. It's just the trash compactor sequence, but with less people, shinier, quicker, and with everybody saying, "Where could they be?" over and over again.
where could he be?
Where could they be?
Where could he be?
It might be unfair to include this bit because it's obviously such a direct reference, but I am unfair, so let's include it anyway.
Sublight engines.
I could go on a list of similarities, how this scene is a direct lift, how these shots are taken from Empire Strikes Back, and also this line.
Punch it. Punch it! Let's punch it.
Or how this seems to be a Phantom Menace reference.
There's always a bigger fish.
But my real argument is very simple, and that's when you strip back all the bells and whistles of Star Trek, the plot is identical to A New Hope. 1. You have a villain who is bent on destroying the good guys, be they rebels or the Federation.
We will then crush the rebellion with one swift stroke.
But to create a Romulus that exists, free of the Federation.
2. Both have ships capable of destroying entire planets.
They're creating a singularity that will consume the planet.
3. They both kidnap somebody in a position of power.
This is a
simple mining vessel.
4. They both blow up a peaceful planet. 5. They both torture their prisoners for information of their enemy's home planet.
Now, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of your hidden rebel base.
You will give me the frequencies to disable Earth's defenses.
6. The heroes sneak on board the ship and rescue the prisoners.
Following orders.
I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit. I'm here with Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi, where is he?
Come on.
7. As the massive ship capable of blowing up a planet is about to blow up a planet, the heroes blow up the ship instead. 8. Everybody goes home for tea and medals. And that's it, case closed. This doesn't mean episode 7 won't be good, and that JJ Abrams won't pull off anything seemingly impossible, but it does make me a little cautious. I guess it comes down to that fundamental problem in getting a sequel right, in that the audience wants more of the same, but somehow completely different. And I'm worried we'll just be getting more of the same. But having said that, it does look really awesome.
Chewie, we're home.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Cheers for watching. Film Chat is a weekly podcast featuring news, reviews, and general movie chat. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, and Twitter. But please, our preferred method of contact is and always will be Bebo. Links in the description.
Please let me Star Wars.